The BETA program at the Berkshire Innovation Center is made possible by support from Berkshire Money Management and Berkshire Bank. The BIC is proud to partner with these local companies in support of STEM education in the Berkshires. Hi everyone, welcome to the BIC. I am JB, glad to be with you once again. We have an incredible program to discuss today. It is the BETA program. To help me do that, we have some incredible guests. Let's meet them. Kate, could you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, I am Kate Light, and I am the program coordinator here at the Berkshire Innovation Center.
All right, Kate, great to have you with us. And Patrick, could you say hello?
Yeah, hi, I am Dr. Patrick Mead. I'm an engineer at General Dynamics, and I helped create the project the kids did with the BETA program.
Outstanding. So incredible guests, clearly both much brighter than me, but bear with me. Let's get into this conversation. The BETA program here at the BIC is one of the great innovations that has developed. Let's dive into what it is.
The BETA program is the Berkshire E-Talent Accelerator, and that is geared towards juniors, seniors, and recently graduated who have an interest in STEM-related fields, whether they want to go away to school or go into a trade. And this is a 6-week course, and it's broken down into 3 phases. So the first 2 weeks is the immersion phase, in which professionals come into the Berkshire Innovation Center and they provide insight as well as an overview of their company. The second phase is the exposure phase, and the students were supposed to go into the companies to either do a project or a deep dive of the company, but because of COVID, they were a little bit limited, and some of the companies had to come back to the Berkshire Innovation Center to do a project here. And then the third phase was the challenge phase. And we broke the final project into 2 segments, and that was the bot and the final project, which the kids picked an autonomous vehicle to research and develop.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kate. The Berkshire E-Talent Accelerator. I've known about the program and just now understand how BETA works together. So thanks for that. The challenge phase, bot, final project. Dr. Patrick, it's time to hear from you. Tell us about this challenge phase as the BETA program progressed.
So the initial idea behind the challenge project was to try and get the students exposure to emerging technologies like machine learning and autonomy, and to do it in a hands-on way. And so the best way I could think of to do that was through robotics. And the kids were actually using the NVIDIA JetBot, which is a commercial off-the-shelf robot that you can buy and begin to hack different components to. Mm-hmm. And from there, they can begin to explore how to use machine learning to actually teach the robot how to do something. And so their challenge was to build the robot and to teach it to drive itself around a track without them controlling it. Unfortunately, due to COVID, again, kind of the bearer of all bad things these times, they weren't able to complete that because we couldn't do the full in-person thing. But we did get the students to complete building the robot so that they could take it home and begin working on those same problems from the luxury of their home.
Exposure in a hands-on way, Pat, is a remarkable goal. And obviously, as you said, COVID has affected everything we do. Look, the 3 of us sit here together with masks on inside because it's COVID. But within that is the need to innovate and achieve things in spite of setbacks, which I think is an important part of the program and what innovation is really about. It's resiliency in the face of challenges. So these teams showed resiliency because nobody gave up, right? All 4 teams did what they were supposed to do once it got set, right? Yep. I mean, that's pretty remarkable in my mind. So let's meet them. So what would have been an in-person event where we got to meet them all and see the projects had to become virtual, had to become remote. That's okay, that's fine. We're all pretty used to that at this point. So let's meet this team. Team 1, Kate, not that they were the first team, but that's how I've given them a name now. What did they work on?
Team 1 includes Winter, John, Darby, and Julian,
okay.
And they worked on the autonomous tractor.
All right, it's an autonomous tractor. Let's see how this team did.
I'm Winter Hardcastle. I'm 18 years old, and I'm currently enrolled in Berkshire Community College as a freshman studying computer science.
I'm Julian Escobar. I'm 17 years old. I'm go to Monument Mountain Regional High School. I'm a junior.
Hi, I'm Darby Bayne. I'm 16 years old, and I go to Lenox Memorial High School.
Hi, I'm John Kozak. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a junior at Berkshire Arts and Technology Public Schools. And together, we are Permaco, and we have decided to specialize in autonomous agricultural equipment. Now we have two concepts to talk to you about today, the validus and the viribus. You might be wondering what those are. The validus is a large horsepower autonomous tractor with swarming capabilities and a 3-point hitch and a PTO shaft, so that it would be able to hook up to implements that are commonly used on the market today. It would be very similar to the Kubota X tractor or the Case IH autonomous concept tractor, which are both in development or on the market as we speak. And the viribus would be a smaller scale, more of a mobile platform than a tractor. It would have either a 6-axis arm for things like berry picking or pruning, or two CNC-like rails on the bottom of it with modular attachments for things like seeding and weeding.
You guys may wonder what makes our product different from other products by other companies. We are an open source company. We make our tractors to be easily repairable and upgradable. Our machines will fit larger and smaller farms. Because of that, we are very affordable. We also are a company environmentally friendly because we use solar batteries instead of fossil fuels. Now you guys will hear some in-depth information about our key innovations as I pass the floor to my colleague.
So coming from Julian, we heard why we're different, and what really makes us different is our technology. So we have the freedom to innovate in a way that's previously been unseen in this industry. Our vehicles will be capable of autonomous swarming, which will allow for mass distribution of tasks between many vehicles, or for a focus on one task where each vehicle is communicating with the other vehicle to achieve a single goal. The open source business model is another, and that creates a culture of transparency, repair, and contribution, which results overall in happier customers and a better and safer product. We'll be giving the software out for free and continuously improving on it, meaning that we're really only selling the hardware, and we're confident that we'll have a majority market share based on the fact that we're always ahead of our competition and we can innovate like no others. Some of the tech that's going to be on board is autonomous robot arms, which can be, as John mentioned, trained to do a variety of tasks using machine learning models. And the fact that everything is open source means that we can really train these tools super quickly and super freely to do a variety of things. And the end goal is also to have a package system. So you could, let's say you're a corn farmer, buy a package that could do corn farming, if soy, wheat, whatever you can name, there'll be something made by us that will be able to get the job done. Another huge thing about us is that we want our tractors and vehicles to be extremely aware. Obviously, in quotes, they're not truly aware, but a suite of onboard sensors and cameras for really advanced computer vision, and also predictive analytics. So there'll be tons of sensors on board, which could help predicting when things are going to go wrong, and streamlining the repair and replacement process. So all these complex systems, all these computers, all this AI compute power draws a lot of power. And we've solved that, as Julian mentioned, by providing solar power in every vehicle. So there'll be a solar array on every vehicle that can fully provide power to all the electronics, as well as provide extra boost to the motors. I'd like to pass on to Darby to talk about some of the problems we could have implementing this.
So, as with any technological innovations, there will be some problems. We expect to see job loss as farmers shift from physical labor-based work to our newer automated technology. We also foresee possible issues with economically available products. How do we make our products affordable for farmers of lower socioeconomic statuses? In addition, we predict pushback from farmers who might be more old-fashioned, and either they don't understand our technology or they don't want to use it on their farms, as well as pushback from our competition, larger companies like John Deere. Furthermore, we expect to see technical challenges as a lot of input is needed for our robot with all the different types of plants and new bred species and the specifics around them. Because of this, we're going to need a lot of trials, which is going to take time and effort. However, in identifying these various issues, as a company, it allows us to better get ahead of the game and solve them before they even happen.
Some of those solutions we've come up with have been to combat the job loss due to this, well, job displacement. We could help fund the retraining of these laborers so that they could either work on or operate these autonomous vehicles and have a better career outlook than they might have had before. And by having a scalable product from just buying one Viribus with a single package for just to see what it is, to buying 1,000 of them to work a whole 100 acres of land, we would be giving the option for the little guy to really get in there and help produce alongside these large-scale farming operations. And with an emphasis on the advantage of this technology in the marketing, we could help persuade more reluctant farmers or these larger companies like John Deere that this technology is extremely useful and needed for humanity to advance as a race. And having this open source would make it much more flexible than your typical business model, because problems with the source code could be identified and solved by the broader community instead of just what we could do here. And really, what all we've just said about this comes down to is that the Validus and the Viribus are helping us enter a new age of agriculture and human society.
That was obviously an impressive piece of work. To you, what stands out? What are you most impressed by?
So I think the most impressive thing from this team was the thought that they put into the modularity of the two different systems that they talked about. They really put a lot of thought into the branding of both things and making sure that the technology that they were developing was going to be safe and accessible to both small and large farmers alike.
Continuing to look at these teams of incredible young scientists at work, let's meet the next team and hear about what they did.
Team 2 is composed of Marco, Jonathan, Grace, Connor, and Liam. Their project was the autonomous forklift.
Autonomous forklift. Let's hear from this team.
Our subject is autonomous forklifts. My name is Marco Iwasika. I'm 17, and I am a senior at the Berkshire Arts and Technology School.
Hi, my name's Liam. I'm 18, and I currently work at Graphic Net Tech Science.
My name is Grace Towler. I'm a senior at Mechanic Technical High School, and I'm 17.
I'm John, or Jonathon Tran. I go to Lennox Memorial High School, and I'm 18.
I'm Conor Mooney. I go to Pittsfield High School, and I am also 18.
So autonomous forklifts are obviously, that's a very general term. That could mean a lot. So what actually is our product? Our product is something called Autonolift, which is an autonomous forklift capable of performing human actions without an actual operator. It is autonomous, which means to act independently. And in this regard, it does need no human input. It can make all decisions it requires itself. Now, with this product, we had a lot of things to consider, and so we added a lot of traits to it to make it superior to the standard forklift and operator. For one, it has been designed for safety. It is designed for safety as it prevents fewer operator accidents, because for one, there is no actual operator. It is all controlled by a computer or remotely if necessary. It is also very good for cost saving. Because of those fewer employees, you do not need 20 forklift operators operating 24 forklifts remotely when it is autonomous. As a matter of fact, you can have as little as one operator controlling 20 forklifts, and they wouldn't have to operate them at all. Only if necessary, they could control them remotely. And as well as this, there is efficiency, which is the fact that machines can make decisions without a second thought, and they can do it quite accurately as well, compared to a human who is much slower and sometimes can make a lapse in judgment and perhaps not make the best decision. For a machine, there is no second chance. They have to make the decision right then and there, and they can do it accurately. Now, I mentioned earlier how because of the cost saving and efficiency, as well as the safety, all three of these compound into the fact that none of these forklifts have to be operated by an actual person within the forklift. Because it's controlled by a machine, it is designed for a hypothetical one operator to be at a control unit or station, to be managing and viewing all the forklifts in their operations. If they believe that a forklift is doing something incorrectly or it is close to perhaps even causing an accident, if that were to ever occur, then the operator can take control of it remotely and bring it back for maintenance or whatever purpose that may be required for. Now, we have built these for the purpose of large companies like Amazon, Walmart, and the United States Postal Service. However, all of this is still very general, so I would like to hand off the benefits of this product to Liam.
So the benefits of our product versus our competitors is, like Marco said, first off, safety. By taking the worker out of a forklift, we can prevent the worker from unnecessary injuries if an accident happened. An accident also costs an employer approximately $200,000 per accident. So we can avoid unnecessary costs to the employer. In maintenance, if we use Tesla batteries, we can confidently say that the batteries can last for about 4,500 hours, which is about double what a diesel or liquid petroleum forklift can do. Our electric forklift operating costs in general are about 85 to 95% cheaper than a diesel or liquid petroleum forklift. Efficiency, since you need fewer employees to operate the same amount of equipment, there's lower cost to the employer and company in general. And since we don't need people operating these, the robots can be moving for 24 hours and don't need breaks while people do. And also, according to salary.com, the average worker wastes about 2 hours a day, not including lunchtime and scheduled break time per 8 hours. So right there, we can save employers some unnecessary expenses. I would like to pass it to Grace to talk about how our robots work.
Okay, so what features are needed to develop this forklift? First off, navigation. For this forklift, we have some options of either going with the navigational laser or with natural navigation. When it comes to the navigational laser, that system uses reflectors such as reflective tape and reflective cylinders. There would be a laser on top of the forklift that would constantly be spinning in 360 degrees and be able to see these reflectors and be able to go to where it needs to pick up an order or go where figure out where it is in the warehouse based off these reflectors. And then there's also going on to natural navigation. That is more of it's also called free navigation, but it's used mapping, not reflectors. And with this mapping, it should just be able to see a wall and know where it is and where it needs to go. Moving on to restock and ordering, you pretty much have to set up an algorithm that would be able to see from the system what is being ordered, where it needs to go, pick up the item and bring it to where it is getting delivered or what is delivering the actual item. But through this, we also want to be able for it to see that the item is gone. So it wants to be able to go through and restock this item or possibly notify someone that it needs to be restocked. Next is the separate controlling. And for separate controlling, it would probably either be an iPad or some sort of remote. This would allow for different things for people to be able to take over. So like if someone wants to take over for a certain order, if someone needs to stop the machine completely in case of an emergency, and just to make sure if the forklift needs any needed maintenance. Going on to an option that would actually be able to solve the navigation and restock and ordering problem is called SLAM. SLAM is the simultaneous localization and mapping. SLAM uses landmark extraction, which is pretty much the navigational aspect that we're going for. But it also has data association, an update of state and landmark. So pretty much this goes along with that if the layout of the warehouse was at all changed, it would be able to update the map that is used to figure out where it is in the warehouse. But along with this, it should be able to quote unquote see that an item is gone, and it should be able to understand that that's not supposed to be gone, and it should go get the actual item and bring it to where it needs to be. Going on, we actually have, of course, actually making it autonomous, which is one of the main features of this entire thing. So for this one, we pretty much use reinforcement learning. And for reinforcement learning, it consists of learning an optimal behavior indirectly by learning a model of the environment by taking actions and observing the outcomes that include in the next state. So pretty much this would go through two general types of scene understanding and decision making and planning. Scene understanding, the first part is sensors, so like cameras, radars, and ultrasonics. And then there's also perceive and localization, which is what I was talking about with SLAM. How perceives where it needs to be, what it needs to see, and can change how the map is according to the warehouse changing. And then there's also object and lane detection. But then going on to the second part of decision making and planning, There's first is plan and decide. This consists of path and motion planning, trajectory optimization, and driving policy. And then there's also control, which is velocity profile, steering, and acceleration and braking. And you obviously, there's one part that is a mix of both of those general topics, and those are scene representation, which is a mix of both. And that's sensor fusion, behavioral prediction, and object map. So pretty much just being able to take the idea that it knows where it is, and then also taking different things that could possibly happen and combining it to make it fully autonomous and fully be able to function without someone constantly watching it 24/7. And I'm gonna pass it on to John.
What challenges would you expect? One would be different work environments. With the different working environments in space, second part would be workforce. Hiring programmers to program and maintain these forklifts are always going to be in demand, and having enough programmers is always going to be a challenge. But with the increase of STEM-based jobs, it would become really easy. It would be more specialized into more types of jobs that involve more of STEM. We need engineers to replace old batteries with new ones to maximize productivity as batteries become old. Next part would be, of course, cost. With these modern technologies and enhancements with our forklifts, there's going to be the need of specialized equipment and materials, research and development costs. With that, there's always going to be the challenge of that our product is new. And with our product, there's going to cost significantly more than the average forklift, especially in the early phase when it isn't mass produced. But with time and improvements, we will overcome these challenges. This ultimately will replace the need for people to operate the machines, but won't ultimately replace the need for workers. This will ultimately just replace one of the main keys of operating a forklift instead of hiring someone to learn and how to operate another forklift. At that point where you can have a forklift autonomously do all this work for the workers. And with that, we're going to talk more about the future, and I'm going to pass it on to Connor.
Thank you, John. So you've learned all about our product, but who is it for? So really this product is for anyone with a warehouse, any company, but that's not necessarily a realistic launch goal. We are going to market this product towards larger companies such as Amazon, Walmart, or UPS. The reason for this is because they have a lot more capital that they can spend on expensive purchases and perceived risks, such as a new product. These companies have large warehouses that often cause employees to walk miles, sometimes over 10 miles a day. With autonomous forklifts, they could really save time and a lot of employee effort from these forklifts and would benefit a lot more than smaller companies. We aren't necessarily ruling out smaller companies though, as in the future, our company will grow, will improve reputation, will lower costs, and hopefully develop new units specialized to these smaller stores and companies. So we hope to see these forklifts in every back room of a grocery store or in like the back of your average Walmart, stuff like that. Now, when it comes to producing these products, we all love the Berkshires, and we hope we could start manufacturing somewhere here, set up a headquarters so we can provide jobs to the community that we really love. And in that vein, we've all really been inspired by the generous owners and employees who have come to talk to us throughout the beta program. And we'd hope to reach out to people in the future, reach out to kids looking into STEM, and really inspire them to go out, start their own businesses, and explore the field.
The Autonolift. I mean, the kids came up with some pretty amazing names too, in terms of everything else they're working on. But what was most impressive about this team's work?
Yeah, so I think the Autonolift is a great concept. You're obviously seeing these types of technologies moving into companies like Amazon and Walmart, so this is definitely a highly relevant concept. I really enjoyed the fact that they spent a little bit more time talking about the actual technologies that go into making this type of autonomous forklift possible. So LiDAR, laser sensors, the actual machine learning, and they did a really great job explaining how they would apply those technologies to their specific product.
The Autonolift team using ML and LiDAR. Really remarkable stuff out of that team. Team 3 is going to make the presentation next. Let's hear who they are and what they're about. Kate?
Team 3 is Ethan, Ben, Morgan, Ashley, and Connor.
Okay.
And they are talking about the Berkshire bus, an autonomous bus system.
An autonomous bus system in the county. Let's hear about it.
This is our final presentation for the beta program. What we have made is an automated bus system for the Berkshires. A brief overview of our project is that it is an autonomous bus system that is going to tour important locations in Berkshire County. What we are going to do that is different is we are going to remove the driver, and instead of a driver, we have a tour guide that manages the bus and the passengers. It's going to work as an effective mode of public transportation across the county, and we're going to utilize electric vehicles in our project.
So let's begin by discussing the history of autonomous vehicles. Experiments on self-driving cars have been conducted since the 1920s. The first well-known depiction was from Norman Bell Getty. He envisioned electric cars controlled by electromagnetic fields. More ideas and trials took place in 1977, and the first semi-autonomous vehicle was created by Tsukuba Mechanical Engineering. By the 1990s, Carnegie Mellon developed neural networks to steer vehicles. And in the 2000s, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency launched multiple autonomous competitions. Over time, companies like Google and Tesla have improved upon these earlier ideas and experiments and have created their own production vehicles. Recently, autonomous public transportation has been an important focus for communities. Tampa, Virginia, and other cities have already implemented self-driving shuttles. Meanwhile, countries like China and companies like Volvo have begun trials for autonomous buses. So simply put, there is a need for our autonomous bus system right now and in the future.
So now I'm going to go into the features that we will need to develop. We will start by improving upon current technologies in level 4 automation, including cameras and wave radars. Cameras use deep learning and convolutional neural networks, which help recognize objects around the bus and relays it back to the bus so it can make the decision it needs to make. Our wave radars use radio waves, which bounce off objects, which also relay information back to the bus, so it can also make the decisions it needs to make to keep everyone in the bus safe. Next, we will improve infrastructure around the Berkshires, adding charging stations in major cities and small towns, which will allow the bus to charge during the day and when it picks up people. And we also plan on adding solar panels on top of it so it can store energy through the day, so it can charge without the charging stations if need be. We are also going to improve software. For the users, we are going to build an app which allows the bus to know where to pick them up as well as drop them off, and creates an easy and simple to use app to help the users. Also, for the bus, we will improve the interface, which will help the cameras and wave radars interact with the bus itself so it can make those quick decisions. Finally, we will add a disinfecting system, which will help during these times and also times after this, just in case there's a new pandemic or just someone has a mild cold. It'll help all the passengers be safe. While creating these features, we'll run into some challenges, which Morgan will talk about now.
Challenges are expected when creating autonomous vehicles. One of the more prominent challenges we would face is power. We mentioned that our bus would be fully electric, but that also poses a few problems, such as making or obtaining a battery large enough to power a bus, while also keeping it charged throughout the day. To counter this, we plan on charging the bus at a charging station, as well as installing solar panels on the roof, which would help maintain and store power throughout the day. Safety also comes to mind when talking about self-driving vehicles. Many would not trust the car itself to drive them around, but surprisingly for some, these type of vehicles are actually safer than human-driven cars. The United States Department of Transportation says that 94% of serious crashes are due to human error, meaning that if cars are self-driving, many accidents could be avoided. Navigation is one of, if not the biggest, factor of self-driving cars. Different factors such as weather, road, and traffic conditions could have detrimental effects on the navigation system. Because our bus will be a level 4 autonomous vehicle, we would implement different cameras and radars to ensure that the surrounding areas are safe enough to drive on. The last significant challenge we face is approval from the government and the community alike. Our bus would not be successful nor profitable if no one wanted to use our service. But because our bus is environmentally friendly, affordable, and is built around supporting our community instead of taking jobs away, we believe that overcoming this challenge will not be a problem. There are many more benefits to our bus, which is what Ashley will be talking about next.
I'm going to talk about the benefits. Our approach has many important benefits, such as reviving the economy in the Berkshires, which has been affected by COVID-19. It also has a commercial use and is directed at tourists, hikers, skiers, or simple people who do not have a means of transport. With our approach, we would benefit the tourist sector as well as Berkshire County residents. We will also work with a local business and local government. Thank you.
An autonomous Berkshire County bus. It seems like it's got all kinds of upside. Pat, what was most impressive?
I'm really excited about this concept. I'm not going to lie. This team put a lot of effort into coming up with a product that has an impact on the local area, which is something I wanted all of the teams to consider about their concepts. And so the fact that they were able to come up with something that is highly relevant in that way speaks to the effort that they put in. Not to mention, there's so many wonderful things to see around Berkshire County, and I think some type of technology like what they're proposing would really make that accessible to a lot more folks.
It certainly would, and you know, in the Innovation Center, you want to see innovation underway. That might be one of the first inklings we have of a new bus line here in Berkshire County. Team 4, certainly last but not least. Who were they and what did they do, Kate?
Team 4 was NAAA. That was Natalie, Aidan, Alex, and Alec. And they had a drone that could do surveillance for fires and weather.
Oh, a safety-based drone system. Let's hear about it.
Hi, I'm Aidan Kennedy Mutz. I'm a junior at PHS.
Hi, my name is Alec Bachman. I am a senior at Monument Regional High School.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and I'm a senior at Lenox High School.
I am Alex Wilson. I am a senior at Raylock Regional High School. And this is our autonomous drones project. We're going to start off with the premise. When an environmental disaster strikes, the first 48 hours are critical. To combat a natural disaster, first responders need improved situational awareness via enhanced real-time mapping and imagery, assistance in identifying the most critically affected / damaged areas, assistance in detecting and identifying ongoing hazards and survivors, and assessing and then documenting short and long-term impacts to the region. We are here to solve these vital issues. Our team, NAAA, has come up with a product called First Reply. Our robot is designed to benefit first responders as well as civilians, and it is intended to export necessary materials to critical areas, scout geographical areas for damage, and analyze destruction or impacts of natural disasters.
In our modern times, natural disasters such as hurricanes, wildfires, and tornadoes are becoming more and more of a widespread, serious issue. And every year they destroy hundreds of acres of lands and cause tens of billions of dollars in damages. They also displace tens of millions of people that need new places to go. And hundreds of thousands of rescue workers will come in from all across the country to help. And when they come in, they're doing so blindly. So our product is to help them have a sense of where they're going.
As presented by Aidan in the previous slide, there is a crucial need for these type of emergency drones. Companies such as Precision Hawk offer many of the same services we provide. Precision Hawk provides key services such as aerial scouting, search, and analysis for first responders. However, our approach is more unique as we provide the same services as well as other services such as delivering supplies to places of risk and using pinpoint technology to understand the impacts on the geography. For clarification, our drone is able to deliver packages by attaching the packages to our specially designed carrier underneath the drone into areas that are high danger or difficult to reach. Furthermore, in addition to using a bird's eye view to analyze the terrain, our robot will use a specialized algorithm that will allow the drone to pinpoint specific areas on a map, centralizing data on places that were impacted, and this in turn will lead to more supplies reaching difficult areas and help first responders have a better analysis of the maps. The purpose of our bot is to provide first responders an efficient and safe way to analyze and help during disasters. Our drone will help first responders navigate through situations by giving collected data to first responders on areas of impact, process/analyze structural damage, identify civilians through aerial view cameras, provide critical data coordinates generated by maps in order for workers to get a sense of the area. And finally, our drones will provide necessary relief to areas that are dangerous for frontline workers to go to. The robot incorporates autonomy levels 1, 2, and 3. The robot calls upon level 1 autonomy as the drone could be flown via a remote control. The robot also utilizes partial and conditional automation, autonomy levels 2 and 3. If instructed, the bot can fly/search autonomously within the border given by first responders. The robot can still be overridden by a human if needed. The machine learning this robot uses is a computer vision learning, limited self-supervised learning, and multi-agent learning. These different forms of learning allow the robot to adapt quickly to adverse situations.
The most obvious challenges are natural conditions and bad weather. Most drones used in surveying and data collection are unable to operate under heavy rain and strong winds, which occur during and after tropical storms and cyclones. Most, if not all, commercially available multi-rotor drones are unable to function under hurricane-force winds and are susceptible to water damage.
What's the impact of our invention? I will be talking about the impact of our product. As we see through natural disasters, many lives are put at risk. People have to go into areas with so much danger surrounding them. Due to this, there are many lives lost. With the help of technology, we can help reduce the difficulties. Our drone will be able to go into natural disasters. Not only will this be a much safer way of living, it will help more information be more accurate. For example, during these rapid times, we are able to map imagery before and after the disaster. Our drone will be able to access where damage is happening, and we will find a way to fix it. Finally, our product will be able to search for survivors. Our product will not only be accurate, but it can save the lives of many people.
Autonomous technology oriented towards natural disasters are designed on the basis of safety, helping first responders stay out of harm's way while better helping affected individuals. A quick statistic is that in 2013, firefighters sustained 34 deaths and 29,760 injuries. While our technology is not aimed to completely mitigate those injuries, it is in a different way. Drones and artificial intelligence have been utilized to assess and mitigate chemical hazards as well as natural disasters. Officials in Japan used AI and drones to assess damage and subsequent radioactive contamination sustained by the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant in 2013. Similar usage can be seen following an F5 tornado in Wichita, Kansas, where drones were used to detect critical infrastructure damages using methane sensors to detect broken gas lines. The big picture, our team is offering a solution to natural disasters by creating a drone that will do aerial analysis, deliver necessary materials, and offer insights on critical areas. These services offer an efficient way and a safe way for the first responders to solve and counteract natural disasters. Our invention will help reduce the risk of first responders and will get accurate and precise information. Our invention is aimed at this, keeping first responders out of harm's way and collecting better information so that the first responders can stay safe and better serve the affected individuals. I think it's safe to say that in a world like ours, where natural disasters are increasing and are growing in size and magnitude, this is a must, and this is now. With recent advances in artificial intelligence and autonomous vehicles, we have the opportunity to save others and to keep our first responders safe.
Seems like there's a tremendous amount of upside to what this drone could do for people on the ground, Pat.
Yeah, I think this is another one of those concepts where the teams are really thinking outside the box about how we can apply these technologies, particularly in a first responder situation. It's obvious that we have increasing weather events, be it hurricanes, fires, things like that, and the safety of these first responders is paramount. And so I think the idea that they have for this drone is really going to provide a level of situational awareness and capability that first responders definitely need to be safe and effectively do their jobs.
Yeah, well, it is remarkable, and that one has huge upside as well in safety for those who need it. Well, that's a look at all 4 of the incredible teams in the BETA program. As we say goodbye, let's get last thoughts here. So, Pat, going into this, this is the first cohort of this group. What did you anticipate, and what was surprising over the course of this project?
So I really didn't have any expectations going into this. I wasn't really sure where the students were going to be in terms of like their understanding of some of these technical topics, but I was overwhelmingly surprised at both their energy and excitement for the topics, the effort that they put in, and almost all of them were very knowledgeable and had experience in things that I did not expect a typical high schooler to have experience in. Many of them have experience doing like things like 3D printing, have worked on electronics and hardware, or do some kind of coding. So it was really exciting to see that the next generation of STEM students are already pretty well prepared to move into these career fields and to furthering their education. But then the other thing that I think I was really excited by was their creativity. Like all of these teams didn't just spit out the obvious answers for what their autonomous system could be or could do. They really put some time and effort into thinking about something that was relevant to them, relevant to the community, and relevant to the technical areas that we were working on.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, some of the STEM basics they're way ahead on, and to see their creativity in action is something that's very exciting to know that they were that. Thanks for those thoughts there. And Kate, sort of last thoughts from you too. This is the first cohort. For you, seeing it from idea to this point, what's the process like? What surprised you? What are you most excited about?
I will say that when Ben Sosny and Justin McKinnon brought the program up to me, I was immediately excited and lights just started going off about what this program is and what it could become in the future. Obviously, COVID presented some challenges,
Sure.
and we seemed to work through them. Unfortunately, the last week and a half, we did have to go remote. However, I was so surprised at the positivity from all of the presenters and the students themselves. My favorite part was seeing roughly 20 students come in who did not know each other. Could have been a little bit awkward at first, but they became such a cohesive group. And the way that they liked hanging out with each other, they liked working together, they asked to do more things together. It was really heartwarming for me.
That is remarkable, and you speak to one of the most important facets of what a program like this is about, which is building community around shared values, and those values being in STEM. Obviously, the innovation that can happen is a big part of what the Berkshire Innovation Center is about. I mean, if you're going to put it in the name, you should probably pursue it. So, Kate, I want to thank you for being with us so much. Pat, thank you for being with us. And I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the Berkshire Innovation Center.